Welcome to Flying High, an 8-week vlog journaling my life as a ticketing and gate agent. One of the ways I afford to travel with a family of 4 is by working for an airline. So I thought it would be fun to bring you guys along on my ride home and share about my day. So don't be shy. If you already work for an airline, introduce yourself and say hi. If you might want to work for an airline, go ahead, hit me up with those questions. And if you're just a passenger and you just want to know more, you're in the right place. I'll answer those questions too. Hey guys, welcome to week 8 of Flying High. I cannot believe we are on our final week already. That's crazy. It's been so much fun taking you guys along my drive. But as sad as I am to see it come to an end, I'm also excited because that means my season of work is coming to an end and I get to go explore more of the world. For our final week, I thought we should talk about a few things. Bag cutoff. Why is that what it is 30 minutes prior typically? Could be longer if it's a larger plane. Also, why do we close the boarding door 10 to 15 minutes before departure? And also early passengers. So let's get into it. Okay, bag cutoff, 30 minutes. Why is that 30 minutes before? Sometimes earlier, 45 to an hour, depending on the size of the plane. What's going on there? So when you drop your bag off, first it has to be scanned by TSA. It can take a while to go through that scanner depending on how many bags are there. And they may have to open them. Of course, you've seen them do this. After that, it goes back to the bag room where it's sorted by flight. And also, when it's sorted by a specific flight, it's also sorted by if you're connecting or if you are going into your arrival city. Then, at that 30-minute cutoff, that's when the ramp crew takes those bags out to the plane and starts loading them. So when you come and you're like, oh no, it's 25 minutes, can't you just run it out there? Well, no, we can't, because that just creates chaos. That's taking extra people from the counter and from where they're supposed to be, and it's a great way to lose your bag, honestly. So we have rules in place for that reason. Once the ramp crew takes your bags out, they're gonna load them in the bin. Then they need to, when they're loading, they're counting and putting a note on this, we call it a CLR. But basically it's just a load sheet that they have to give to the pilot, and then the pilot has to plug those numbers in and do some calculations before takeoff. So all of that needs to be done. In addition, the ramp crew needs to sometimes empty the lab, the toilet goo that nobody wants left on there, and they have to get the pushback hooked up with the tow bar. So it's a lot to do in 30 minutes. So you've probably been on a flight before where the captain said, for takeoff, due to weight and balance, we need 3 passengers from the front to move to the back. Or sometimes they will ask the ramp crew to put some ballast in the cargo bin pit if it's not heavy enough. They're 50-pound bags of sand basically, and gosh, those things weigh. I know bags weigh 50 pounds, but those feel lighter than that ballast, because I've been on the ramp before. We were cross-utilized, and those dang bags are heavy. I think just because it's in such a small, compact space. So that's what they're doing. That's why the bag cutoff is when it is, and why if you don't get there in time, you can't take your flight, sadly. So get there in time for that bag cutoff. Why do we close the boarding door 10 minutes before departure? The other day we were actually boarding our flight, and this lady, she was supposed to be on this Alaska flight, and she came up and she would not leave us alone. The Alaska crew was out getting ready to push back the plane, and she was just begging us near tears, can't you please go get them? Go tell them I'm here. I have to be on that flight. They'll let me on the flight. Go tell them. And we're telling her, ma'am, we have to board our plane. They will come back in and rebook you when they're done. She's like, no, I have to be on. She just wouldn't leave us alone. Finally, my supervisor had to get pretty darn stern with her. They're not coming back. We close the boarding door. Typically, I mean, on a good day, we would love, as gate agents, we love getting it closed if everybody's on the plane 15 minutes prior to departure, because that's when we print the paperwork, get the numbers, take that out to the crew. On the smaller aircraft, mainline, the numbers get sent the head count, but on connection flights, a lot of times we have to physically hand the flight attendant a passenger count, adults, kids, infants, and then the flight attendant has to go through the cabin, count everybody. Their count has to agree with our count, and sometimes that can take a few times. I mean, ours is done on the computer when people scan their boarding passes, so I'm not saying we're right, but typically we're right. But they're counting, you know, moving passengers, somebody gets up and moves a seat, somebody's in the bathroom, somebody remembered they forgot something in their bag and got up. So we have to get that done in those 10 minutes. All passengers need to be seated, all bags need to be stowed. We need to get, hopefully the fueler has already gotten fuel to the captain so he can run his numbers. We also have to submit our count so those can go in the numbers. So there's a lot that we're doing there in that 10 minutes. And when they say your plane leaves at 5 o'clock, that means doors closed and the brakes are released and it's pushing back at 5. So we also need to get that boarding door closed. We need to get that jet bridge pulled back, and somebody needs to be in that pushback tug, ready for the captain, brakes released, and back they go. So that's basically what we're doing. So we love it. We don't love it when you come sauntering up at like 7 minutes. Oh, great. Well, we got a lot we got to get done still, so if you could just hurry that up just a titch, that'd really help us out. Okay, I really did not want to wake up from my little nap this morning. My body was rebelling against my alarm clock. My alarm clock won, but it was a struggle. I had a dream actually that we had this pull-out couch in our break room and everybody just piled up on it and took a nap. I think I might be extra tired. Let's talk about getting there early. So this week I had this elderly couple and they came a couple hours early. They were there 2 hours early. And because they were there so early, there wasn't a line, and they checked in and they were a little sheepish when I got to the gate. They're like, oh, we were too early. And I said, no, you are not. I love early passengers because early passengers make a prepared gate agent. I can get there as early as 3 hours early. Nobody's gonna be there, and I can start making announcements and trying to gate check bags and do all that. But if passengers aren't there, there's nothing I can do. And when passengers don't show up until the plane has arrived and I'm getting everybody off and that's supposed to be boarding, and then they come out wanting to change seats or needing pink tags for strollers and car seats, or having questions about a different flight, it's really chaotic at that point to try to do all of that. So it was really great because this day with this couple, we were oversold in plain old coach economy seats. And I had to upgrade some people to Economy Plus for free. And that's my favorite kind of day, when I get to do upgrades for free. Typically, I will choose maybe a handicapped person that's far back in the plane so that they can be a little closer. It would be easier for them. Military personnel, sometimes a parent with an infant if I have room, if we have room and they could have a seat next to them. Better for them, better for everybody around them. But today I had none of that, and there was nobody on the upgrade list. Obviously, we also look for our Mileage Plus members and medallions and all of that, but today there was nothing. And typically a lot of times those are already listed on the upgrade list for the upgrades first. So I chose this couple because they were there early and I just wanted to reward them for being responsible. So I went over to them, I asked them for the boarding pass, and I asked if they would like a free upgrade to Economy Plus, and they were so excited, and I just thanked them for coming early because it really helps us out as gate agents. So give it a try sometime, maybe you'll get a free upgrade, you just never know. And I think that covers it. So thank you so much for joining me for Flying High. I love that you guys have joined me. I hope you've learned something in this, and I will see you around.